Hello Gates. Ava Gardner's life was a remarkable mix of grit, glamour, heartbreak, and resilience. Born Ava Lavinia Gardner on December 24, 1922, in Grabtown, North Carolina, she came from a humble background, the youngest of 7 children in a family of tobacco sharecroppers. The Great Depression shaped her early years, but her striking beauty and natural poise would eventually open doors to Hollywood. MGM talent scouts discovered her in the early 1940s, captivated by her luminous green eyes and charisma. She started with small roles, slowly proving her talent until her breakout role in The Killers in 1946 made her a star. Her ability to play complex, layered women showed audiences that she was more than just a pretty face, and she soon became one of Hollywood's most sought-after actresses. Gardner's early personal life was just as dramatic as her film roles. She married actor Mickey Rooney in 1942 at only 19, but the whirlwind romance quickly crumbled. Gardner learned of Rooney's gambling and affairs, and though she kept quiet publicly to protect his wholesome image, she divorced him within a year. Her second marriage, to jazz musician Artie Shaw, brought her into a world of sophistication but turned toxic as Shaw criticized her background and intellect, leaving Gardner disillusioned once more. It was her third marriage, to Frank Sinatra in 1951, that defined her most enduring love story. Their relationship was fiery and passionate, full of jealousy, reconciliation, and media scrutiny. Gardner became pregnant twice during their marriage but chose abortions, pressured by MGM's strict contracts that discouraged stars from having children. By 1954, the marriage ended, but the love between Gardner and Sinatra never fully faded. Even after their divorce, they stayed close, and he remained one of the most important people in her life. Gardner's career thrived as she worked alongside legendary directors and actors, starring in classics like Magambo, Showboat, and On the Beach. She was admired for bringing emotional honesty to her roles, often reflecting the themes of love, loss, and strength that mirrored her own life. By the time she reached her late 60s, she had lived a life full of triumphs and tragedies and finally began speaking more openly about her experiences. One subject she rarely discussed until later in life was Humphrey Bogart. She recalled Bogart as sharp, funny, and magnetic, a man whose presence could change a room without trying. Though not traditionally handsome, he possessed an authenticity and intensity Gardner admired, seeing in him a shared struggle to prove themselves in a Hollywood that often underestimated them. She remembered Bogart as fiercely loyal, deeply human, and one of a kind, believing there could never be another like him. Gardner's later years were marked by declining health. In 1986, she suffered a devastating stroke, and despite her wealth, it was Sinatra who arranged and paid for her medical care, flying her on a private plane to see specialists in the United States. This act of kindness spoke to the unbreakable bond they shared even decades after their marriage had ended. Gardner passed away quietly in London on January 25, 1990, at the age of 67, from pneumonia. Her death marked the end of an era, but her legacy as one of Hollywood's most captivating stars lived on. For days later, she was laid to rest in her hometown of Smithfield, North Carolina, close to the family she loved. Fans still visit her grave to leave flowers and pay tribute to the small-town girl who became a global icon, remembering not just her beauty and talent but the fierce spirit that made her unforgettable.